What it do, everybody? It's your boy DJ Tony Tone, Hot 97, Street Glory, and I am honored to have my homeboy, my man Dee-1.
My man.
In the building.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
How are you, sir?
I'm great right now.
I know it's a little cold here in New York, but, you know.
Yeah, I'm
it's
bundled
okay?
up, baby. I got 2 scarves. I got one on my head, one in my back pocket. You hear me? Yeah.
All right, good. You know what I mean? This New York weather is crazy, man. But you got a new project out.
Yes.
Slingshot David. First of all, what that type? I mean, I may know a little bit about David, right, in the slingshot,
right.
But what was the concept behind that?
The concept is, my name is David.
Okay.
Yeah, so my name is David. I've always felt a connection with David, in the Bible because that's my first name. That being said, big homie, when it came time to do an album, I said just putting together a random collection of songs is not enough.
Okay.
So I said I have to tell a powerful story since this is a full-length album. So we all know David defeated Goliath. David defeated Goliath with a slingshot. The concept of my album is that we all have our own Goliaths in our lives, metaphorically.
Right.
We have poverty, we have racism, we have oppression, we have depression, we have anxiety, all these type of things. The key to defeating the Goliaths in your life is you have to identify what is your slingshot, Your slingshot is your weapon, your gift, your talent, your skill that God blessed you with that you can use. When you figure out how to use, first you got to identify your slingshot. Then when you figure out how to use your slingshot, you can defeat the Goliaths that are on this earth. You feel me?
Wow.
So what I'm doing on the album is I'm telling my life story from elementary school, growing up in the hood in New Orleans, wanting to be a hot boy, you know what I mean, to me growing up, going to Ghana, West Africa, and how that changed my life and changed my worldview, to me going to high school and college and graduating college, becoming a teacher for a second, and then now being a rapper. And ultimately, you hear my life story and how I found my slingshot, which is hip-hop. Right. Hip-hop is my slingshot. Right. And you figure out, oh, this is why D1 uses his slingshot the way he does, because I know how powerful of an art form hip-hop is. Right. It's a life-changing art form. Right. Hip-hop can literally make or break the course of people's direction in their lives.
You're right.
So that's what I'm doing, and I want to inspire people to wonder and to say, dang, what's my slingshot, and how should I use my slingshot? So that's the concept of the album.
See, now you got me wanting to hear the album. I've heard some of it.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to sit through from the track one. All the way
and
through.
that's why I did it like that.
Yeah,
that's why I did it like that, big brother, because I wanted people to have to listen to the whole progression of the album. And it's beautiful, the way it came together.
It's good stuff on there.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
It's
so, I'm passionate, bro. I put my heart and my soul into this, bro. Like I became very vulnerable. I put a lot of experiences out there that people might not have known about me, I got a track called The Devil's Playground, where, man, I'm talking about some stuff on there that people are like, did that really happen?
But the good thing about that is being transparent is going to help somebody who's probably going through or went through the same situation and doesn't know how to come out of it. So that's a good thing about being transparent on the album. Now, let me ask you a question. Being real, being righteous, being relevant.
You already know. Yeah, you already know. That's it, bro. That's it.
Explain that, man.
3's up. You hear me? I grew up in New Orleans where, you throw this up, people think you a blood or people think you in the Illuminati or all this. I said, I'm gonna take that same type of hand sign that is associated with negativity, and I'm gonna make something positive. That's what I live my life by. Be real, be righteous, and be relevant. In everything you do, you should strive to be real, number one. You gotta look yourself in the mirror and say, I love the person I am. God made me just like this for a reason. Flaws and all. So be real, you hear me? You ain't gotta get in costume to go out here in the world every day. Be righteous. All that means is doing right is right, and doing wrong is wrong. Right. We live in a world where doing wrong is celebrated as doing right. And doing right will make you feel like you corny or you a dork or something. Like, oh, no, doing right is right. So be righteous. And finally, be relevant. Oh, I love being relevant, because to be relevant, you got to shut up and grind.
Right.
You got to really hustle, man. It's a lot of competition in this world.
Yeah.
People competing for the attention of these kids, the attention of these fans out here. Man, to be relevant, you got to put your best foot forward. And if you've identified what your slingshot is, it's easy to be relevant because you're going to shine in a way that nobody can block your light.
Listen, there aren't too many people who can match my passion. You've matched my passion.
Word.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, too many, I'm talking calm down. It's like, nah, man, you don't understand.
Yeah.
At what point did it become real for you?
It became real for me when I was a middle school teacher, and I'm gonna tell you why. It became real because for the first time, I'm in the classroom and I'm trying to teach these students math, but I'm realizing they won't learn multiplication and long division and dividing fractions, but they know all the Lil Boosie and Lil Wayne and the Kodak Black songs and all this type of stuff. So I was like, yo, hip hop is so powerful. And then when one of my little students got murdered, it got even realer to me because I'm like, yo, music that you listen to, that's the soundtrack for a lifestyle. You heard me? So why do people feel like, oh man, if I'm a black man, a black boy growing up in the hood, or a black person, period, black or brown, I gotta listen to hip hop that is riddled with negativity and death in it, you know? No, so that's when it became real. And I said, yo, I have to make it as Dee-1, the rapper. I have to make it because I need people to be able to put something in there, especially where I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I need people to be able to listen to something and say, this stuff is fire, this stuff is catchy, this stuff is lyrical, it's all that, but guess what? It's breathing life into me. You know, this is a man of God speaking boldly. You hear me?
Yes. Who are your influences spiritually? Because again, with traveling, being an artist, sometimes I know being on the road, that could be a challenge to stay connected. So who are the people whom, whether it's at your home church or from afar, who are the people that connect, you stay with?
Of course, my pastor at my home church, Pastor Fred Luter.
Shout out.
Wow. Shout out to Pastor Luter in New Orleans, Louisiana. Man, thank you so much for just speaking so much life into me, honestly. I got inspired so much by this brother that, I got baptized like less than a month ago, honestly. Yeah, I got saved a while ago, but I had never gone forth and gotten baptized because I got baptized as an infant in New Orleans. I grew up Catholic, right? Okay. So, you get baptized as a little baby. Dip. You dip.
No, they do the water. They do the sprinkle with that, right?
Yeah, I didn't even get dipped. You're right. Just got, So Pastor Luter, just seeing the man of God he is, the integrity that he has. This is one of the biggest churches in the city. But this man, people are gifting him all kind of cars and stuff. He's like, man, give that to a member of the congregation. Like, for me to see his integrity, and I'm real cool with his son, Pastor Chip Luter, So it takes one to know one. He raised up an awesome man of God, So thank you for that, Pastor Luter. Another spiritual mentor of mine, Dr. Leonard Moore. He was one of my college professors, right? When I went to LSU, and this brother changed my entire life. Like, college is a very impressionable time where you can get off into a lot of the wrong stuff, and I was starting to. And I saw a young black man who had a PhD. He's a college professor. He's a bold Christian. You hear me? I'm seeing this, and I'm seeing that he's swagged up. He's confident in who he is. And I'm like, man, it's possible, so it's possible. So you best believe that, like, I'm more confident in taking upon, my cross and walking now because of that. So,
and that's one of the things that I've learned over my life period is that you can never strive to be something you've never seen before. And so for us, as we see the images, right, of what a real man looks like without being corny and all the other stuff, that gives hope to the next person who's like, well, they may be in a situation where they don't see that. And so I'm proud of you, my brother, because again, in the culture of hip hop, there are people that want to do hip hop, but they think they have to do it a certain way to get put on. Right. You know what I'm saying? But you're an example. You don't have to sell out, and you don't have to be something that you're not.
And you can still be successful and win. I'm winning, yo.
Of course.
Whatever camera filming me right now, I don't know which one it is, man. I'm winning, yo. I'm really winning,
Now you are, bro.
And I'm winning by the grace of God, man. God got me covered because I got in this game, and I didn't care about what the industry has to offer me. I got in this game. I knew that this was my slingshot. I know my purpose for why I'm in hip-hop. Same reason why you winning.
Yeah. Well, this ain't about me, bro. It's about you, man.
I'm saying. But we brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? We brothers. People don't realize that, man. So much fake, phony friendships in this game. So much competition. Why are men of God competing against each other? That sickens me to my stomach, brother. That sickens me. Why? Like, when I feel that energy from other people that's supposed to be believers in this thing, man, that stuff sickens me to my stomach. And I really want to call them out.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
You're not supposed to. You're right. So that's why I don't do it.
That's grace, man. We're doing grace today, man. We're doing grace. We expect grace on this interview.
You're right. You're right.
But I feel you.
Yeah, you're right.
I definitely feel you. There was I saw you on TV. I think, was it The View or was
The Real?
The Real. Yeah. The real. How was that, man? Because you were surrounded by a bunch of women, bro.
Yeah, I was right. I didn't know what type of energy I was gonna get, and it's amazing because I think that they were just like, wow, we don't know what to do with this guy. He's from New Orleans. We look at him and think one thing, but he's on here. I was rapping about my song Sally Mayback, where I'm talking about paying my student loans off. So they were like, wow. But then in the interview, when they started talking to me, and I'm telling them like, yo, I'm a proud, bold Christian. I'm a man of God first and foremost. So I knew that this song was gonna blow up. You know what I mean? And I'm talking to them about my Christian walk and about celibacy as far as before marriage and abstaining from sex, all this type of stuff. And they were just like, wow, and that doesn't make me perfect by any means.
Right,
not by any means. But if we're not striving for perfection, what the heck are we doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, of course I'm striving. Like this bracelet really means something. What would Jesus do? You know what I mean?
Man, I ain't wore my What Would Jesus Do bracelet, and I had to find mine, man.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, bro. I keep that.
That's OG bracelet right there.
Yeah, I keep that on.
Yeah. Zoom in on that bad boy right there, boy. That's OG
Every time
bracelet
I
right there.
I say that bling bling. Right. Yeah. So
see, that's how you know.
Yeah.
Your brother is for real, because again, that's ID. That's the same way I got a wedding ring, the ID I'm married.
Yep.
That's a band that identify that he's walking with the Lord.
Word. So I was on the real. That was amazing. The platform of millions, and there's people to this day that still speak to me about that. Wow, I never heard of you before that day, but after seeing your performance and all that stuff, and let me talk to you about financial literacy for a second.
Talk to me, boy.
Man, it's so many people out here with student loans that when I finally, when I finally finished paying mine off, I felt so great. I made that song Sally Mayback, and it's amazing what happened. What came about from that song is I've actually partnered up with Sally Mae, and we've gone around the country for the Dee-1 Knowledge for College tour and given away almost $200,000 in college scholarships to students, talking to them about financial literacy, being smart with your money, setting goals, going to college, prioritizing what you do with your bread and your time. It's just, this is nothing but God using me, man. I couldn't have scripted this out.
The thing that's interesting what you just said was you did a song just to tell your story about your experience, and it went around blessing millions of people and giving them education. Again, when we do music from the heart, right? When we do it from the heart, you have no idea how God's going to take that and use it. Correct. Again, that's why I'm excited about this new project, because again, bro, I'm telling you, I heard some joints in there. I don't know which one. I can't tell you which one I'm gonna be rocking.
Right.
But I got a few. I got a few slings, and
man,
you know what I mean. I got a few rocks in my slingshot.
You got a few rocks. Thank you, brother.
You know what I mean?
You got some ammunition.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So now you said that you used some other producers as well as some new producers.
I did.
Who did you use?
So let's see. So I used my man Justin Williams from New Orleans. I used my man C. Smith from New Orleans. I used my man G-Rock from Miami. I used my man ADR. He's from, I don't know where he's from. That's my first time ever working with him.
Okay.
Who else did I use on this thing, man? I used my man, what's that boy name? I can't remember, but he's from Los Angeles. He did The Devil's Playground. Forgive me, brother. I'm drawing a blank right now.
He mentioned the title of the song,
yeah,
so you know exactly
you produced
who
The Devil's
produced
Playground. That's
there
right.
you go.
Charles. There we go.
There you go.
Charles.
There you go.
Huckleberry. Yeah. So I used a different cast of people than what I normally use, and I used some frequent collaborators. Now that I'm on and I have a bigger platform than ever, man, the people who paid dues with me from the beginning, they deserve that shot at getting a big placement on a big album, you know? So that's why I kept, C. Smith and Justin and whatnot around my people from New Orleans.
Okay. What's next for Dee-1, man?
All I can do is wake up every day and push this album to anyone who has not heard of it, because I am the underdog. Don't get it twisted. I am the underdog.
Yes and no.
I feel like I am, because what I'm doing, I didn't take the easy, safe route of coming in the game under the umbrella of being a Christian hip-hop artist, to where all of a sudden you got the built-in following of everybody who listens to all that. I didn't do that. So I'm not all the way ingrained in that community. At the same time, in mainstream hip-hop, they looking at it like, oh, you dope and you can spit, but it ain't like you signed with Good Music or YMCMB or anything either, you know? So I'm kind of like this weird fusion, and it makes it to where I get to be myself and reach everybody, but it's harder because I don't have the built-in, inherited audience of a certain crowd. So for me, that's why my hustle game has to stay so strong. That's why my prayer life has to stay so strong. This stuff is hard. don't get it twisted, family. This stuff is hard, bro. I don't have this big team around me that's calling shots, that's just making it super easy. Man, look, I just released the album on a major label, and I'm out here with flyers, walking through the streets of New York like, what's up? My name is Dee-1. I just dropped my album, Slingshot David. You heard me? You can go get it on Spotify right now, iTunes. So,
but that's the OG hustle game right there.
Yeah, you gotta hustle.
And I commend you for that, because again, some artists may think just when you get signed, that's it. That's the end of the road. I can just take it easy and let. And you're proving that even when you're signed to a major label, you still got work to do.
Yes, sir. You still got work to do. And if you're a man of God, you're always going to stay humble, because we're called to be humble. And your humility is always going to make you know, I'm not above holding the door open for someone. I'm not above, handing out a flyer. I'm not above having to introduce myself when I walk in a room. Not everyone just automatically knows who I am, you know? And that humility, Jesus was humble. If Jesus, the Son of God, could be humble, you think that little old Dee-1 from New Orleans,
listen,
Louisiana,
man, my prayer is that this video goes so viral.
Yeah.
Because people need to understand that.
Yeah.
They need to understand. It ain't never. See, I'm on Hot 97 doing what I do. By God put me there, man. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
And it's not for me. It's for everybody else. I'm just a cup, man.
You're a vessel.
I'm just a cup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's an honor when I get a chance to chop it up with you, and you know what I'm saying? We get to do this,
of course,
in front of the camera,
of course,
because again, it ain't about us, it's about him.
Of course, amen to that. This makes it all worth it for me, man. It's a lot of stuff we go through that we probably don't enjoy that comes along with the game. You know what I mean? It comes along with the game. It's all worth it when I get to do two things. When I get to connect with real people and do interviews and just fellowship, you hear me, with people. But the other part is when I get to perform live. Oh man,
I seen you, bro.
A whole nother side comes out of me, because it's just like I get to release. All of this, I get to release, man. All this frustration, all this tension, all this that exists in this game, man, I get to release, and it's just me and my people that's out there to watch me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Slingshot David, the homie Dee-1.
Yeah.
Make sure you get this album. Trust me when I tell you, it's BKS certified. And if it gets the BKS certified stamp, you know it's worth something. All right? Street Glory, Hot 97, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. on your radios and your phones. Tony Talk.